is your friend and mine. You can catch his stuff over at Boston Sports Journal, and you can have his work critiqued by Evan Lazar over at Patriots Unfiltered. I'm talking, of course, about Mike Giardi, who joins the show right now. Mike, how you doing?
What a jackass.
Which one of us are you referring to?
Yeah, I think it was the guy that you referenced as critiquing work lately. He should figure out how to be a journalist first and foremost, and then get back to me.
Okay, well, he did get, I don't know if you heard it in the beginning here, he did get sort of slapped down by Jacoby Brissett a little early on. It seems like maybe he's trying to repair his reputation in that locker room. Is that something you can relate to?
I would just say, he said the mutiny thing, and it feels like we're going in a 180-degree direction the other way. So, that's for him to live with. He can choose to do with it what he wants.
So, Mike, I was just thinking, I have no idea what the first question I want to ask you is, because there is so much going on with this football team. There's so many layers to dysfunction. But let's start at sort of the most recent thing, and that was the end of Jerod Mayo's press conference today when he did the whole Belichickian Jets breakdown, which if you're going to really mimic Bill, is supposed to be done on Wednesday, not on Friday as you get close to the game. And then he said, Coach Stacy told me to talk about the Jets. What did you think of that? How did you interpret that? Why is he telling us? I know he likes to make those little jokes, but how did you interpret the Coach Stacy comment after his Jets-focused press conference?
Yeah, look, I think things have gone so far. Again, speaking of going in the wrong direction, have gone so far in the wrong direction, and he's talked about wanting to be transparent and giving us as much as he can without, revealing, details that might compromise their position in a game or something like that. And when you're 1-6 and your wide receiver room is squawking left and right, and you're not getting simple things done, like how many times are they misaligned or guys just didn't fill a gap in the last 5 weeks now? Like, you keep talking about fixing the same things and they don't get fixed. And maybe this is his way of just being like, you know what? I'm just going to rewind all this stuff as he continues to do all season long, So, like, I cast it out there and I'm going to bring it back in, and let's just kind of go with this more basic, monotone, just whatever approach that obviously Bill had working for him for 20 years.
Is it desperation?
I think the message in the team meeting on Thursday was not only about, do more. Certainly a lot of that was the vibe out of that, but also let's stop bringing the noise to the public and to the media. If you got issues, let's do our best to keep them in-house, which, again, is reverse of what he was saying back in the spring, summer, and early fall with Judon and et cetera. Like, oh, no, be a man. Nope. He gave them an opportunity to do that, and there's too many guys that can't handle it, so this is probably an overcorrection, but something that has to be done.
Mike, in the last 2 years of the Belichick era, there was plenty of games I remember afterwards. Mac Jones, Jacoby Myers, Kendrick Bourne, guys openly questioning the play calling, sort of doing the same sort of stuff. Maybe not to the extent that you're hearing it right now, but not exactly this tight-knit, no leaks on this ship type of stuff. And I feel like there's a lot of revisionist history going on. What's the difference between sort of those years and the way it's all unfolding right now?
Well, the difference between those years and even as it started to unravel for Bill is that you could look at the resume and say, well, no, he always gets a sixth, and he'll have an answer for this, or he'll quell this because that's what he's done, or he'll say to this guy, you know what, I don't like you speaking out. Bears tapped him on the shoulder, he came into my office, and now you're not going to play as much. And generally, he put someone else in there who wasn't as good, and that guy would play just fine, and he'd be like, oh, he did it again. He hit the right buttons. And I think now when you're 1-6 and pretty much every button you've hit has been the wrong one, that's a massive difference. Jerod doesn't have the coaching resume to fall back on in the success and say, no, we did it this way and it worked and this is how we're going to continue to do it. He is trying to operate his way through this as a first-time head coach, and we're seeing the growing pains. I thought they were going to happen. I just didn't know they would happen to this extent.
Is Jerod Mayo on the hot seat?
I think he's fine for this year, Andy. If it devolves into complete chaos, and even though this has been a pretty loud week or two,
what does complete chaos look like if this
that?
Is not complete chaos?
I think the complete chaos would be leaders of the team openly calling out the coach. and I don't think we're there yet. I think you've got the KJ Osborne, Kayshon Boutte, the Jalen Polk. You guys haven't really done anything or very much in this league, and if you have some qualms of beefs about what's going on, whatever, fine. But
wait a minute. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt, though.
Yes.
So you say if the leaders of the team are calling out the coach. Yesterday, when he was asked who should be the mentor that wide receivers should follow, Alex Van Pelt said KJ Osborne. KJ Osborne is the one who posted about not being happy that he found out on Saturday night that he was going to play because he was told on Wednesday that he was inactive. I mean, isn't that borderline a leader of the team calling out the head coach and trying to embarrass the coach?
I think that you and I would define leaders in a different manner. I don't think.
No, I'm letting Alex Van Pelt decline it. I'm letting.
Well, look, Alex said what he said. I can't break it down. If that's what he believes, that's what he believes. But obviously, if that's a leader, then the guy wouldn't have been sitting in weeks 5 and 6, and wouldn't have sat in week 7 if not for the illness that was going around the wide receiver room in London. So, what are we talking about? That'd be like, I don't even know. Like I'm trying to think of like a random Patriot player who'd been in the room for a few years, and you're like, oh, well, he's been here. Yeah, but he doesn't play. Or he doesn't, when he plays, he doesn't make an impact. So what kind of leader can you be?
I wonder if this whole thing is going to be detrimental towards the development of Drake Maye, which, Mike, this whole season was supposed to be about just that, basically, right? No one really cared that much about how many wins they had or if they were going to beat the Jets or anything like that. It was about Drake Maye, developing him and seeing what you have there at quarterback. Is all of this chaos and turmoil and mutiny crap, it can't be good for him, can it?
Well, so far he's handling it. And I did ask Van Pelt on Thursday, sort of like, do you worry that he's going to be too hyper-focused on, taking care of the guy? See how he complained, so let me get him the ball.
Right.
He even mentioned, throwing the ball last week to Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick was working hard, and I felt like I had to get him the ball. That's one thing, but if you're going to start listening to Kayshon Boutte believing that he's open on every single play and you should throw him the ball, and that's not where the read's supposed to go, or that's not what the matchup says, or, in fact, he's not open, then that would be a problem. But, again, so it's a small sample size. There's just 2 games. But he hasn't done that, and it feels as though he just got a little, coolness to him. All right, fine, man. If you're not where you're supposed to be, I'm not going to throw you the ball, which is, I think, why you're seeing in particular Hunter Henry the last couple of weeks. Hunter, he knows where Hunter's going to be, so Hunter's going to get fed.
In terms of the wide receiver room, it feels like if I were coaching and sort of just wanted to bring it back together, there would be an example made. Do you think that is a possibility where they could make an example of someone, either a trade, although I don't know if they have anybody that would really garner much in a trade, or could there be somebody who gets cut? Because it feels like even Jalen Polk, we were talking about last week, would he be inactive and does he need to be shown a lesson, and he was out there until he got banged up or whatever. Do you think there could be a lesson made, taught, and who would the most likely candidate be in your mind?
I think, Rick, I kind of feel like that's not going to happen. I just feel like even when they have, as you mentioned, when they've done it, they haven't done it to some great extent, right? So, it was clear we knew weei-fm wasn't going to play that much based on his previous performance, and so Christian Ellis gets out there 60% of the time. Christian Ellis isn't much better than weei-fm, if he's better at all. You're in the same situation. This week, I would not play KJ Osborne, but if Jalen Polk's not active and Javon Baker can't be trusted to be out there, then what are you doing? You calling up, I think the kid's name is Jake Westover from the practice squad. I don't know. I mean, maybe you do that, but it doesn't feel that that's the direction they're going in.
But don't they need to do something like that? Don't they need, you're not trying to win games.
Oh, Andy, I would have traded. Look, before I even talked, Chris Mason and I talked to KJ Osborne on Wednesday. I wrote on Tuesday in the Boston Sports Journal that I was done with him. I would trade him. And look, I don't know what they told him when he signed here. He's obviously not making a ton of money, but you're looking at 2 supposed to be professionals in the room, Kendrick Bourne and KJ Osborne, and the rest are a bunch of young, unproven guys who may never be able to prove themselves because they're just not good enough. But so he comes in here, and that's just not how you do it. And dissatisfied with your situation, nobody wants to be on a 1-6 football team. I get all that, but dude, we're leaning on you to be a pro, and you're just doing the same thing that the first and second year players are doing.
Is there any way?
Doesn't fly for me.
Is there any way that this gets better? Like if they beat the Jets this weekend, for example, Mike, do you think some of this could start turning around at all?
Oh, I think they desperately need a win. I think we've been saying that. I think I said the Miami game, like just get a win. Like it doesn't even matter how you get it, 10-9. If they won that game 16-15, whatever it may be, 3-2, they just need to feel some positivity because 6 straight weeks of losing, basically getting your face pounded in during that entire time, and like the questions are more direct and the feelings are raw, and it just, we're seeing it. It's definitely like there's an unraveling that's happening. It hasn't unraveled all the way, and maybe if you steal a win here, or Tennessee, it could be everybody wear bags over their heads for that game type of situation in Tennessee 2 weeks from now. Like then. Whatever, just get one. You just need to feel some good vibes, and they haven't felt that for a long time.
Mike, based on the play, I just got to collect another one of these. This is for you, Arcand. Okay. Based on the play over the last couple of weeks, who has the better quarterback heading into Sunday's game at Gillette Stadium?
Drake's playing better than Aaron.
Yeah, let's go. Thank you, Mike. You answered it properly.
Yeah, well, and look, that's. Again, with short sample size, no one's making predictions about the long-term viability of Drake. But in this period right now, absolutely. Aaron threw a dreadful interception when his team was on the verge of running Pittsburgh out of the building and took all the air out of the balloons. And then the second one, he hits a perfect throw, hits Garrett Wilson right in the chest. Somehow the ball pops up in the air like 20. I mean, it was the dumbest thing ever. But that's just sort of how it's going for them too. And he hasn't been good enough, and he's blamed Mike Williams, and he blames this and that and the coach and whatever, and he's not, the last good game he played was actually a great game, and it happened against you on that Thursday night.
All right, if Maye has a bad game, you can blame Andy Hart for screaming all week that Maye is better than Aaron Rodgers, and also Patrick Mahomes, he said the other day too. So if that happens, you can blame one Andy Hart for that, nobody else. Mike Giardi, thanks so much for the time today. We appreciate it.